Yeah, and that's my biggest hesitation here. I like the Cubs on the money line, grab them at minus 135. But when you look at Imanaga return from the hamstring injury on Thursday, this will be his first start. And that's my one hesitation betting on the Cubs in this spot. But when you look at him on the season, he is 3-2 with a 2.82 ERA and a whip right around one. He also has a 1.19 ERA on the road, so that plays in perfectly to him pitching on the road in St. Louis here. Also a 2.02 opponent batting average when he is pitching on the road. So the numbers make it worth the risk in taking him in his first start back coming off the injury. Andre Plante is going to go for St. Louis, 5-3, 4.48 ERA and a 1.31 whip. 58 strikeouts in 82 innings. That's huge for me. The Cubs can smash the baseball, so the fact that they don't have to worry about the strikeout massively with Palante on the mound is definitely something to note. And then the Cardinals have been great at home, and they're a big surprise this season overall. I did not expect their record to be where it is at this point, but Chicago has the better overall team. They have a lot more power, and I think they're going to show that off Palante, put up some crooked numbers, and find a way to win this game as long as Imanaga can hang in there coming off the injury. Yeah, I'm going to take the under of 10. FanDuel had a 10.5 on this tonight as well. So this number continues to creep up right now. When I look at this line, slightly high just when you look at the pitcher splits. Shane Baz and Michael Lorenzen will pitch for their respective teams. They each have whips in the 1.3s, but when you look at their splits, Baz has been much better on the road than he's been at home. He still has a walk issue, but he has a 3.57 ERA on the road instead of a 5.7 ERA at home. So he's on the road here. That split favors him. Same thing with Lorenzen. He has a 3.3 ERA at home compared to a 5.68 ERA on the road. He's at home here, so obviously that works perfect. And each of these pitchers are in their element. So I do expect them to throw well here. And the first two games of this series also stayed well under this line too. The Royals have the lowest scoring offense in baseball. They are 30th in runs scored, and Tampa's scoring is definitely inflated because of their home ballpark. Obviously hitting the ball well, but the ballpark helps. In Kansas City, I'll take this game to stay under. I think it's going to follow the trend that we saw in the first two games of this series. I'm going to be on the dog here. I like Hermanson in his first fight following a 16-month layoff. He beat Joe Pfeiffer in February of 24. RoboCop's coming into this fight, coming off a fourth-round TKO loss to Jared Cannonier in February. And Hermanson, I think, is going to be able to handle him here. I think we're going to see RoboCop struggle a little bit like he did in his last fight. He's going against a well-balanced striker who can balance that wrestling and the positional striking. With Rodriguez, he's going to work the leg kicks, and if the fight goes to the ground, I think it's an even battle. But when I like Hermanson, he's just heavy on top. He's relentless with the takedowns. Rodriguez is that knockout artist, but I just don't see it happening in this fight. I think we're going to see Hermanson pick him apart on the feet. If he can get those takedowns early, especially early in this fight, I do expect him to have some success here. As good of a fighter that RoboCop is, I just think Hermanson has the edge here if he fights his fight. Obviously, a knockout can end this one early for RoboCop, but I just see Hermanson picking him apart, getting him to the ground, and finding a way to win. Yeah, there very well could be. I mean, both guys are known to get finishes, and Beneil Dariush has been finished in his past two fights in the first round, and I think that really plays into this one for him. I am going to be on Dariush. He is the dog in this fight. We were getting a much better number a few days ago. Then Dariush started to become a little bit of the public's darling, moving back towards an even money spot. So I do like Dariush. I would get him now because I think he's going to be the favorite by the beginning of this fight. And that just comes down to that desperation. When you get knocked out in the first round twice in your past two fights and you haven't fought in a very long time, obviously there's going to be a sense of urgency there. He needs to win this fight. There's no doubt about it. You're not going to stick around long in the UFC losing first round knockouts. And it was to Arman Sarukian and Charles Oliveira. No shame in losing to those guys, but he needs to come out with a sense of urgency here. And against Renato Moicano, he doesn't necessarily have to fear that knockout as much. Moicano has 2 wins by knockout in his UFC career, 27 professional fights overall. So this is a better matchup for him just because he doesn't have to fear that early knockout. And if that's the case, he can fight his fight. He can try to pick Moicano apart on the feet. He can try to get those early takedowns, get this fight to the mat. Very heavy on top. He's going to fight with really good pace. Both guys are, honestly. But I just think Dariush is going to come into this fight a lot looser than he did against Sarukian and Oliveira because he doesn't fear that knockout early. So when I'm looking at this fight, I think Dariush is going to have a tough time, don't get me wrong. But the willpower, the sense of urgency, urgency he's going to have is going to put him over the edge here. Moicano can definitely counter off the ground if he gets him there, but if Dariush can score the takedown to get on top, I think he's going to control rounds here and find a way to win this fight, either by decision or a submission.